Hello, everyone. Hope you all are doing well. I'm going to start the meeting and start the recording. So I'm calling the meeting to order at 7:28 p.m. We always start with our territorial acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that the SFSS is located on the traditional, unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples, including the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Coquitlam, and Catsi nations. Unceded means that these territories have never been handed over, sold, or given up by these nations, and we are currently situated on occupied territories. I'm going to start with roll call of attendance. You all know the strategy of roll call of attendance now. So I'll start with myself. My name is Vaibhav Arora. I'm the VP Events and Student Affairs. My pronouns are he, him, his, and all my access needs are met. Next on the list is SUS Counselor, Ayo.
Hey everyone, my name is Io, pronouns he, him, his. As for my access needs, I will be in another meeting concurrently, so I'll try to keep in for quorum, but I won't be able to participate as much.
Thanks, Ayo. Do we have any other counselors here? No, right? Okay, so we are going to start with our at-large membership. First on the list is Sean. Sean, you've just joined. Do you want to go for yourself?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Sean, and I think all my access needs are met. Yeah.
Thanks, Sean. Mishka?
Hi, everyone. I'm Mishika. I'm the at-large member representative. My pronouns are she, hers. All my access needs are met. Thank you.
Thanks, Mishika. Andrew?
My name is Andrew, and I'm a member at large. My pronouns are he, him, and his, and all my accessibility needs are met. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. Next on the list is Praneeth.
Hi everyone, my name is Praneeth. I go by she pronouns and all my access needs are met.
Thanks, Praneeth. Last on the list is Nancy.
Hi, my name is Nancy. My pronouns are she, her, and all my access needs are met.
Thanks, Nancy. Now we'll go with the society staff. I assume Dipti is here. Dipti, do you want to go?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Dipti. I'm the events coordinator. Pronouns she, her, hers. All my access needs are met.
Thanks, Dipti. Olive just joined. Olive, do you want to go for your introduction and for the roll call of attendance? Olive, do you want to go for your...
Sorry, hello.
No
Do you want me to do my little introduction?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Olive. She, her pronouns, and all my access needs are met.
Thanks, Olive. We'll go directly to our consent agenda, which says, be it resolved to adopt the consent agenda by unanimous consent. We have 4.1.1. It says, be it resolved to receive and file the following minutes from our last meeting, from last meeting, from 3rd October 2022. I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If anybody wants to dissent, please raise your hand or list yourself in the chat. Seeing none, this motion is carried. I'm going to move to the adoption of the agenda. It says, be it resolved to adopt the agenda as presented. So this is the time, guys, like when you can make amendments. If you want to make amendments, you have to list in the chat when I'll ask to do so. I'm going to seek mover for this. Can somebody move this?
Linguistics.
Linguistics move this. Can I have a seconder?
Yes, second.
Please speak out your name, guys. Puneet seconds that. I'm going to open the floor for discussion. You can list yourself in the chat. And if you have any amendments, you can raise your hand as well. I'm going to list myself. I have a few amendments to make here. So if anybody wants to have any amendments on the agenda, please list yourself in the chat right now. I'll go with myself. I have a few amendments, which I'm typing out in the chat. You guys can take a look at that. Can you guys see the the amendments in the chat? I'm going to move this. Can I have a seconder?
I second.
Mishika seconds. I'm going to open the floor for discussion. If anybody wants to have any questions on this, you can list yourself in the chat. Seeing none, I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If anybody wants to dissent, please list yourself in the chat or raise your hand. Seeing none, this motion is carried. Going back to the main motion. So if anybody wants to have any amendments, please just list yourself in the chat. Anyone? Okay. Seeing none, I'm going to seek unanimous consent for the main motion, which says be it resolved to adopt the agenda as amended. We already had a mover and a seconder, so I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If anybody wants to dissent, list yourself in the chat. Seeing none, this motion is carried as amended. Going to the new business, which was, we have 10.1, which is Munchie Mondays. Excuse me. So it was brought up by our president, Helen Sophia Pahu, who is not here yet, but oh, she's joining it actually. Okay. Helen, we just were on your motion, so I'm gonna type this motion out in the chat. You wanna introduce yourself?
Hey V, I just joined the meeting. So this is on Munchie Mondays, correct?
Yes. Do you want to introduce yourself first?
Yes, just give me a sec. Let me close my door. Hang on.
No worries.
My apologies, folks. V, did you already read out the motion?
Already put it in the chat.
Did you get a mover and a seconder?
Not yet. If you can introduce
yourself.
Okay,
please. Sure. I'll introduce myself first. Hey everyone, my name is Helen. I'm the SFSS president if you haven't met me yet. I use she, her pronouns. Access needs are all met. Happy to be here. And yeah, then I will stop my intro, give the floor back over to your chair. Thanks.
Thanks, Ellen. Going back to the motion 10. I guess it was 10.1. Yeah, 10.1, Munchie Mondays. So the motion says, quick second. Whereas the SFSS has traditionally organized Munchie Mondays being a past initiative centered on student engagement and food security, whereas the funding for Munchie Mondays traditionally came out of the SFSS events budget, be it resolved to allocate $1,000 from the events committee budget line item 817/20 to purchase snacks to hand out to the membership. Helen, I guess you're gonna move this?
Sure.
Okay, can I see the seconder?
Linguistics.
Linguistics, second that. I'm going to open the floor for discussion. Helen, since you brought it, you can start up with it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair. All right, then. So, yeah, I brought this motion to the table today, folks, and just to kind of give an overview of Munchie Mondays. So, Munchie Mondays used to be an initiative held by the SFSS. I think the last time they did Munchie Mondays was in 2019 during the board year before even going to the pandemic before it hit. And the whole point of that initiative was to provide snacks, food items, hot drinks out to students out in like Convo Mall or around, not the sub, Maggie Benson Center where the old SFSS board offices was. I would like to bring this initiative back to the society. I want to have some kind of medium where students can connect with not only us executives, I'm also thinking counselors, if events committee folks want to join in as well and hand out snacks to students around Convo Mall. This is really just the point of connection, to hear about what our students feeling? What are some concerns that they have? What do they want to see out of the SFSS? Number two, to provide some kind of point of alleviating food insecurity as well. By handing a single granola bar in one day, it can make the huge difference for a student to get through the day. It's not much, but it can make a difference for those who are struggling. And number three, something fun. I think right now in the society, aside from the events committee, y'all are doing amazing work. I want to find some other mediums for us to create some points of student engagement. So this is the reason why I'm bringing it to the floor. I really do hope you folks support this motion. We just need some funding to get some snacks and get some food items to start handing out to students. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. You're muted.
My bad. So thanks, Ellen. Mishika, next on the list is you. Floor is all yours.
I just had some questions about like what kind of snacks we are bringing. So I think you did cover granola bars and coffee, I'm supposing. I mean, it's best for the weather being right now. And is there anything else that we want to add?
Okay, Ellen, you can go ahead.
Thank you so much. Yes, that is a great question. So yes, by the time we start Munchie Mondays, it's going to get even more colder than it is right now. So I definitely want, or I'm thinking that we as a society, we can partner with Blends, who's in the sub building. We can get coffee boxes, even from Tim's as well. But since Blends is in the sub, we can definitely do that. Get some coffee boxes, start handing them out to students at Convo Mall, start talking with them about, you know, again, what do they want to see out of the SFSS? What do they want to get out of their student society? We can buy snacks in bulk from Costco. Again, granola bars and little like Welch's fruit gummies are just some of the things that come to mind, but we can also accommodate for those who are, you know, with dietary restrictions and whatnot. So that is something that we'll have to brainstorm. But yeah, there are no limitations to this. We can get creative as long as it's just the point of accommodation and connection with students. That's all that matters at the end of the day. So I hope that answers a little bit of your question.
Thanks, Ellen. Next on the list is Dipti. Dipti, you can go ahead.
Just to give you guys an overview of how it was done in the past, our events committee members used to put all those food items, and it never had hot beverages, to be clear. The reason why was our events committee member used to haul these items and hand it over. It used to be only in the MBC, sometimes in the Convo Mall, but we did have prior approval from MEX. The item that we used to have was like fruits or some snack items, and in the end, I think we started bringing in some, I think muffins and some bakery items. But we didn't have coffee actually. I think the reason was it was going very expensive, and Blend's coffee prices would be. We'll run out of coffee pretty fast, then we will run out of the food. So I think that is what the reason was. And if we plan to do it in the Convo Mall, I would suggest we take prior permission or maybe prior approval from MEX at least, because if we want to do any food or beverages in Convo Mall or any of the MEX spaces, we have to buy each and everything from one of the on-campus vendors like MEX or can be Blends or Venisons.
Thanks, Dipti. Yes, I agree. Like $1,000 is something that we have to take care of too, right? Like $1,000 might be like we can just have few Munchie Mondays if we are bringing coffee with that. But like since we are doing like we have our own building now, I don't think so. We need to go to MEX for that. We can just do it like in the sub, and it promotes SFSS as well. But anyways, good conversation, guys. Now we can move to carry forward this agenda. Any further discussions, guys?
Sorry, I think Helen has listed the.
Helen, go ahead.
Thanks, V. I'm not going to take up too much time with it. I just want to say thanks to Dipti for the point of information. Again, anything MEX related, I know Dipti, you've been very involved in communicating with MEX. So if we do a Munchie Mondays out in Conroe Mall, if not at the Go Desk, then if we want to do by Conroe Mall at some point, I'll definitely rely on you as a point of information. And second thing as well, in terms of the funding, we're just starting off with $1,000 and just to see what is feasible, what we can spend and what we can't spend. It's good to note that coffee is expensive. I think we should try and do like one hot drink thing. I think students will really appreciate that. But yeah, I do just want to make it clear that we're starting off with 1,000 and seeing what snacks and food drinks are feasible to purchase and to give up to students and what isn't. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thanks, Helen. Anybody else wants to have anything on this discussion, in this motion, sorry? Okay. Seeing none, we can go for the vote. I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If anybody wants to dissent, please list yourself in the chat or raise your hand. Seeing none, this motion is carried. Okay, and next on the agenda is our amended item 10.2, which is our budget for Plansum event. So the motion says, whereas SFSS is collaborating with Plansum for an event on this Thursday, whereas we are sharing the booking costs for the MEX with SFU's Chang Institute, be it resolved to approve $200 for the event from events committee budget from line item 817/20. I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna seek a seconder for now. Can somebody second this?
I'll second.
President seconds. I'm gonna open the floor for discussion, but I can start with some of it. So the event is basically like Plansum is Vancouver-based local organization who is willing to come here and donate free plants to students. And since the midterm season is coming on, like plants help a lot in kind of refreshing your minds. Plus, they are really healthy, right? Like it's natural and it's environment friendly. So those are going to be like small plants that you can keep in rooms. So that event is happening on Thursday, and I'm also seeking like volunteers for that. So Andrew said like you are going to be there, maybe like one more person, and then we're good for the day. But that was all from my side. I'm going to open the floor for discussion. Like if anybody wants to ask any questions, list yourself in the chat and we can talk more. Nancy, you can go ahead.
I was just wondering where it was taking place.
Okay, so this is happening in the Convocation Mall. We have booked the space already with the MEX, and everything is taken care by Chang Institute, but we are doing the promotional side. So promotional side plus sharing half the costs of the booking, which is like roughly $100. But we are adding like $200 for this motion just for contingency sake. So that was it pretty much for this event. Anybody else? Anyone? And please let me know later on, like in the messenger group chat, who's willing to come on that day besides Andrew. And I think so we will be set for the day. I'm going to seek unanimous consent for this agenda since nobody is listing. If anybody wants to dissent, please list yourself in the chat or raise your hand. Seeing none, this motion is carried. Okay, moving on to our next agenda item, that is 10.3. It is Christmas Carnival, which was again brought up by me, and I'm gonna post it here. So the motion says, whereas SFSS is collaborating with SFU for a Christmas Carnival this year, And the total, and the event is happening on 30th November, whereas the total budget for the event is more than 10,000, whereas we will be contributing towards a portion of the event with food and other things. Be it resolved to approve 4,000 for the event from events committee budget from line item 817/20. Okay, so I brought this motion. I'm going to speak a little bit on this. So Christmas Carnival, like we all were planning, like, all together in the sub, but after a meeting with, sorry, yes. So I'm going to move this. Can I have a seconder?
I'll second.
Sean seconds that. Thanks, Sean. I'm going to open the floor for discussion, but I'm going to start with the brief kind of introduction to the event. Since we all have been talking about Christmas Carnival, you guys have been excited about it too. And we talked about that in the last meeting as well, but we were planning to do it in the sub building with the same amount of kind of budget. We were planning like similar like yesterday's event, and that was a bang on event. One of the best Halloween events at SFU I've seen so far. So this time SFU is doing a carnival anyways at the campus, no matter like if we are doing it or not. So I thought like rather than doing it like separately and like pretty much like within a week gap, right? Like they're doing it on 30th November and we were planning the same date, right? So the same date as well. We decided that we're gonna do it together, similar to like the first Friday event. If you guys were there, so many games, like the ones from Hool, the big ones, like not the ones that like we used to yesterday. Big games of a stage, and the people can come and dance, a Santa Claus like for a photo booth, food from dining. So the event is going to cost like roughly around $20,000. Like we're not sure like what it is going to cost us, but we have like I talked to them. I said like we can't do more than 2,500 or 3,000, but I'm still getting 4,000 approved in case like we have other expenses, like we always have, like at last minute expenses. And that's gonna be on 30th November in Convocation Mall. So the 30th November is Wednesday. Okay, so it's a Wednesday, and it will start probably around 3 o'clock, might end up at like 6 or 7, like depending on the weather. It's gonna be cold as well. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna open the floor for discussion if anybody wants to have something. Dipti, you listed yourself, you can go ahead.
I just want to check, this will be only at the Convo Mall and nothing will be in the sub, right? Because
No.
I have space on hold. I just released. I haven't released it yet. I was waiting for a meeting with the SFU, but if we have nothing, then I can just release the hold.
I think so, yeah. I think so. We should be fine to release the hold. And since like, I think so, like, it will be not a good idea to kind of have an event similar to theirs and like pretty much on the same dates.
No, not similar. What we could do is we can do one part, like say Christmas with Santa in the sub. And that way, just people who feel really cold, who cannot enjoy outdoor event, can at least enjoy something indoor.
Okay. I'll keep this in mind. But I think so Mishika is on the list next. Mishika, you can go ahead.
I do agree with Deepti. Like it's kind of getting cold, and yes, it makes sense to not have the same event as SFU because it's already happening. But can we because like if we're gonna spend $4,000 there, like and if we do plan another event that's gonna be inside, would it be like, do we have enough funds to plan another event that's gonna happen inside, like inside the sub building?
Thanks, Mishika. I'm gonna say like, SFU has been doing it for like years now, like outside, and we are gonna have heaters all over the space. So they're gonna be like 8 to 10 heaters. which we are renting, or I think some Max has it already. So that's something like we are already taking care of. Like, if it is cold, like we have heaters, we have fire pits there, and like we'll make sure like to announce it like a couple of times for everybody to dress accordingly. And like Christmas, we all know like it's an outside event and it's colder anyways. Like even if you go to any other Christmas kind of carnivals, it's outside and it's cold. So and like Christmas is meant to resemble the winter weather, right? So this was something that was in my mind. I hope it answers some part of your like question. And the other thing is like we are deciding on the plan, so we can make a committee, and I can probably loop you in, like whosoever wants to be in the committee, and we'll have like weekly meetings from now on, maybe like twice a week. So if you guys want to loop in, like have an idea of like what we are doing, how we're contributing, like what part like we will have in that event. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any more questions, like you can list again in the chat. Helen, you're on the list. You can go.
Yeah, thanks, V. I do have some questions. So the $10,000 is or over, whether it's at 10K or over 10K, that's a budget set by SFU, and we are contributing. Your motion is suggesting that we contribute $4,000 out of our own events budget to contribute to this big general budget that is set by SFU. Okay, then I'm just questioning where will our 4K contribute to, like what items? I know in your motion you listed a portion of the event is going to go towards food and other things. I'm just curious what the other things are, just so that the committee has a better understanding of what is this carnival, this Christmas carnival, like what are the activities consisting of, and where will our money make an impact in? So yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Ellen. First of all, good question. So like 4,000 is like the threshold that I'm putting. We are not contributing 4,000 exactly. It could be 2,500, it could be 3,000. Other than that, the total, we are not like sponsoring the event. We are like being a partner for the event. So if you see, like we collaborate with SFU SER for all our movie nights as well, right? So we collaborate with them and not like sponsor the event. So this is like more of a collaboration, but with like lesser portion of the money. Also, we are seeking sponsors for that. So SFU is not paying like the entirety of the other amount too. So like, some part like we'll pay, some part they will pay, some part SFU Dining will pay. So it's a collaboration with like couple of departments as well, other departments. Secondly, like we got like so many sponsors for the Street Fest, right? So we're going to seek like some of them to kind of sponsor this event as well. So some chunk of like, the budget can come from there. And other activities like you're mentioning is like food, like pool games, like, the rental games, like the punching boxing machine, and like so many other games, like be it like Santa Claus, who are we going to hire for the day, and then we have like other carnival games, like if you see like those in like the inflatable ones that we used for First Friday, and like the way like a photo booth, so those things cost as well, like having a background, having the camera and the reels, everything. Like we literally hosted one carnival yesterday, so there are like so many things like you have to buy for a carnival. So other activities, like be it say like we had to buy, we didn't have to buy, but like we had cotton candy yesterday, right? So it was like well received by many people. Like it was one of the attraction for the day, and everybody was like, there was a big lineup for the cotton candy. So those things cost as well. So those kind of activities. So yes, Helen, since you have a direct response, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. So I just have a clarifying question, and thanks for the thorough detail on that, V. So we are partnering with SFU for this Christmas carnival. So it's going to be like Street Fest 2.0, but for Christmas, with a Christmas spin on it, and wherever signage or promotion is going to be for this event, we'll have the SFSS logo on it.
Of course, yes.
Amazing. Thank you.
Okay, so I can answer like more on this. So basically, first Friday event, it was everywhere, like everywhere there were promotions. SFSS logo was there. It was written like powered by SFSS. And that was like literally we were just sponsoring that event because that event was in $100,000 or something, right? So we just paid like 2,000 something for that. And there was like a slideshow which Ishana and I presented on the day of the movie night, like the big movie night that we hosted outside. So like there was good enough promotion for that event, like, you know, for SFSS. This event is like a mini version of Street Fest, but like Street Fest again was like an event which had like a budget of $70,000-$80,000. So like this is like a really like miniature version of that event, but again, same amount. I think so we can expect like a good turnout on this too, because it's always like a walk-in turnout, like, you know, on all the events. And like Convocation Mall is like, I would say, the busiest place, like, you know, on campus. So yeah, SFSS logos anywhere. We'll have our banners. We'll have our, like, you know, social media promotions everywhere. And I'll make sure like we have like, you know, literally like bulletins going every second week, like every week with the Christmas thing. Yes. Okay. Anybody else has any questions? As this is a big thing, and I will definitely need you guys there on the day. So save the date, miss out other activities. This is going to be a really fun one. And I would suggest you not to miss this, because this probably be the last biggest event on of this year. And like December, it's going to be like really dead. So you guys know that. It's 30th November, Olive. So save the dates. It's a Wednesday. If you have to miss a portion of your class, do it. We need volunteers so all the time. And like you guys did a brilliant job yesterday. Couldn't have been possible without you. I keep saying it. And it's so it's gonna be on the Christmas day. And feel free to give me suggestions, like, you know, what do you guys want to see on the day of the event, what we can do from our side. Like, you know, we have $4,000 for this. Like, we are just paying them $2,500, $3,000, and we still have $1,000 which we can just, like, you know, buy something from our side. Like, I don't know much about like Christmas celebrations here, but we could probably buy some candies or something, like, you know. Face painting was great, Olive. It was really great. It was my first time in my life I had something on my face, so they were great people, and really friendly. Everybody loved it, and I'm yet to pay them though. So I'll do this after like this meeting, and we could probably have a face painter too, like, you know, Christmas one maybe. Yes, of course, we'll consider them again. I literally told them this yesterday. They said like they're from a middle income family. The whole family was there, and we always want to support the local. That's the motto of SFSS as well. Yes, why not for this event? Yes, of course. I'm gonna, like, since this is a collaboration, so we have to also, like, you know, collab with SFU, like, if we want to have this again, because it's Christmas, it's winter times, and I don't know, like, if people want to have face paints except Halloween, but we can have this for sure. Like, good idea. Keep bringing me ideas. Like, we still have a group chat, and I'm gonna probably make a committee for this, so you guys are welcome to join that. Our meetings are mostly on Tuesdays from 1 to 2. Dipti, am I right? 1 to 2, right? So
yes, that's right.
Yes. So we'll probably keep the same timings. Whosoever has time, like in that time period, join it. You know, you get to learn a lot about like how things work as well. You know, just not on the day of the event, but the background too. Like how things work, how all the bookings are done, and like the bigger picture of the events. Thanks, Mishika. I'll see you soon and have a good evening. Bye. Okay, that was it. And anybody else? Any questions? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to seek unanimous consent for this. If anybody wants to dissent, please list yourself in the chat or raise your hand. Seeing none, this motion is carried. Wonderful. Okay, next on the agenda is our discussion items. So first one is brought up by our at-large member Puneet, which is titled as Paint and Chill. Paint and Chill, nice title. Okay, since you have brought it, Puneet, I'll give the floor to you.
All right, so this is an idea we kind of talked about before too, just a little bit, when you asked about, when you were talking about the paint workshop. So my friend, she kind of wants to, not exactly host, but more like, well, it is kind of hosting, but I guess I'll be there too, as a SFSS rep. But she wants to like kind of host a art event, like just normal painting or drawing, whatever everyone wants to do. And I thought we could just make it a nice chill event where people can just like socialize, talk to each other. We can have food there too. Yeah, just nice like social event.
Thanks, Puneet. That's a good idea. Actually, we were almost about to have that kind of event beforehand, but we just canceled it because it was costing a little too much. But since you're saying like your friend wants to help, this is amazing. Like the friend that was there yesterday.
No.
Okay, so one of your friends like literally painted one of like your other friend's face, and it was amazing. So I was like, it must be that friend. But thanks for bringing it up. So when you say she'll lead slightly, but for the most part, it's supposed to be a relaxing evening of getting to know others and paint. Okay.
So for that, it's kind of like everyone can draw or paint whatever they want to, but she can also like help teach people certain things. Like if someone wants to learn how to draw a certain thing, she can help. Because she, like I mentioned this before, like a while back when you said you had the other idea. She has her own like Instagram art page and stuff, and so she kind of like draws professionally, you could say. Like it's her hobby, so she can basically. So people can draw or paint whatever they want, but if they need help, she can help teach them.
Thanks, Puneet. Dipti, you're on the list. You can go ahead.
Puneet, can we see some of the painting stuff that your friend might have done, just to make sure, because we do get questions. Say, for example, if we have this motion approved today and we go ahead and we create a post, I'm pretty sure you will want people to sign up for this, right? So when we make Jot form or Google form for people to sign up, then we do get questions as such like who will be the painter, what will we be painting. It's also like, good to have more information. Oh, okay, really sorry about that, but just we want like to make sure that I'm clear on it and not missing out.
Puneet, do you have a direct response or something for this? If you have, like, please.
I'm just going to Instagram right now, and I'll send you a link in the chat.
Okay, so for the direct responses, we can put the star marks, and you can use those for direct responses. Good idea. We can carry this on, and like I'm just concerned, like after the post midterm, it's always like dead season coming up, I would say, especially like after like 18th or 19th of November, because people start getting ready for their finals, and so many like final, like, those writings due, projects due, presentations. So we have to make sure like we have a good turnout for this. But we can always promote, like I'm good at promoting, so I can help you with that. Start this in the messenger group chat that we have, or probably like make a special group chat for this, like for all the committee members who want to join that, like the way we have been doing it for the other events. They feel like they're most welcome to join that other group. Okay, do you have more on this? Anybody else, like any questions, any discussions? This is brilliant. This is brilliant. I just opened the link. Beautiful. Looks really beautiful. Okay. Anybody else? Any questions? Any discussions on this discussion item? Okay. So once we have an idea of this, we can pass the budget in the next events committee meeting. And since like we want to do it post midterm, so I assume it's gonna be like the second last week of November or something, like 20 days from now roughly. Okay. Yeah, so start working on this, make a special group chat, and we can proceed from there. Okay, since this discussion item is done, I'm gonna move to the next one on the list, which is again brought up by Purneet, and it says midterms are over, pub night. Purneet, you have the floor.
Yeah, so I don't know if people are still like, I think this might be a little too late regarding the title, midterms are over, because I think the majority midterms are over. I'm sure this is the last week or next week might be the last week. I just kind of wanted to see Shell Pub Night, so I don't know if you can agree with me on that, but if you want to do a pub night, I think it would be awesome.
Thanks, Purneet. Thanks for bringing this up. So we have our pub night guy here, Sean, who can help us organize it. I'm just, to be honest, like really honest here, I'm a little tired after like 3 events in 2 months, especially like after Street Fest, Diwali, and yesterday. I have been feeling like really low now, or maybe like I'm moving, that's why. But good suggestion, and we can start a discussion on this too soon. Helen, you can go ahead. Go next. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Pranit, I just want to say, like, it's a fantastic idea that you brought that up. So thank you for bringing that to the committee. I just want to flag to both yourself and to everyone in here that any pub night that the SFSS should want to host later down the road, it should be planned out at least a month and a half in advance, because you need to build a motion, right? Approve via the committee how much funding will go for that pub night. And committees only meet once every 2 weeks. So you keep that in mind. You have to approve it first and then come up with a promo plan, right? And then you'll need at least a solid 2 weeks of promo to make sure that the event is a success and that folks do come out and join the event. So I would say that that we should be doing pub nights. We should 100% be doing that. Students are expecting it, but we need to give ourselves at least a month and a half to 2 months to plan something out. So I want to flag to the committee here that probably some good pub nights to do would be, I would say probably like St. Patty's Day, Valentine's Day, because it's all romantic and whatnot. Not trying to be too cheesy here, but those are some things that the events committee can probably do. But again, give yourself lots and lots of time before planning out a pub night. And V, I'm here to support. I know you do a lot of work, so I just want to flag to you again that I'm here. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thanks.
Thanks, Helen. I echo what Helen said. We need at least 2 months at least to have this kind of event. So we don't think so midterm season 1 is gonna work, but like something in January, like when the semester starts, we can have a like welcome pub night or something, like welcome winters or something like that. And like maybe welcome fall. No, it's not fall, it's spring, right? So welcome spring or something like that. And even like Helen mentioned about the Valentine's event, so we are already like planning something for that. Once like I have something in my mind, I'll probably talk to Max like about the spaces, or probably we'll do it in the sub, and then we can start working on it after this like midterm season. And you guys should be like a little relaxed to plan on that, and it takes a lot of time for that kind of event. Puneet, you can go next. Yes.
So I remember like yesterday we were well, Nancy brought it up, the Valentine's party thing. So instead we can do that for a type of pub night instead. So Valentine's Day one.
Yes, of course. Thanks, Puneet. Anybody else on this discussion item? Sean, do you want to say anything?
Can I just quickly add something? Not only for the pub night should be planned at least 2 months in advance, but any event in the sub as well. We need to have 6 weeks, I would a month and a half, because now that sub is getting busy, the possibility of we not getting space, and if we have any event in the sub, especially in the social space, and then building team needs to prepare and needs to look at all the proposals that they receive as well. So we have to have 6 weeks. And I would suggest when you propose an event in the events committee, if you have an events plan, that you send out to the committee beforehand, that would really help. Just so like, I have sent the template for the event plan. I'll also send it back to you, and Puneet, we can sit together for the paint night and we can work out details for this as well. But even for the upcoming events, I do have some around 20 themed pub nights details, like just the themes for pub night I can share with you all, and that will just give you an idea if you are planning any pub night for our upcoming semesters.
Thanks, Dipti. That's some really informational things that you just said. Yes, we need at least 2 months to prepare a good event. Like movie nights and everything else is like not that bad. Like, we just can do it in 2-3 weeks. And like those don't take that much efforts. But especially like these kind of events, like the carnivals, and like how hard it was for us to manage things for the Halloween carnival last night, because due to lack of time, due to our Diwali event and other events that we were planning. So yes, we need good enough time. I need like a surety of people who want to lead, that they will be handling the event. So again, like I can help with all the things, but making group chats, making having like appointed meetings for everyone, and like doing some concrete work there. But yes, we can do our first pub night probably in the next semester, because yes, we need to sell tickets, and I'm tired. Any other discussions on this? Nancy, go ahead.
I kind of want to add on to what Praneet was saying about the a chance of a Valentine's Day pub night, or kind of a social. So I know we've talked about it as a team before, but we kind of do a themed social event, kind of I know that we've talked about a place for people to kind of meet new people and stuff, but kind of open it up to everyone and have allow people to have fun for Valentine's Day, people who may not go out that night or anything like that, or just want to spend their night meeting new people and things like that, but also as a way just for people to come out and get involved. I feel like we could do it kind of where we had the Halloween all the ballroom, kind of around. They have some food, some drinks, and then we can do color coordination just to have if people want to meet new people, they can. We can do if you're wearing red, you are in a relationship, so people kind of have this idea of who they can talk to, who a potential new partner maybe, or some fun things like that. We can do little games. So it'd be instead of planning a big banquet how Praneet and I were talking about before, the size of the Diwali event, because I feel that would be a bit much to plan. We could do kind of on a smaller scale, the ballroom. Just an idea, maybe.
Thanks, Nancy. Yes, definitely a good idea. I had a social in my mind. Pub night, I don't really know right now, because the pub nights a little difficult to manage as well, including when it comes to alcohol and everything. And like, like late night parties, I'm just a little concerned sometimes, like, things can go some other way too. But social, like I remember SFU hosting one, like which department, I don't remember exactly. SFU hosting one in 2019, a social on Valentine's. So they had signups like 100 people or 150 people. People turned out in red and black, like, black, like people want to wear like black suit or red suit. And most of the times, like women like prefer to come in red, and men come in like black suits and with like red something like, bow or tie. So that was like a good idea for me, like, like I liked it a lot. But I'm like down for a pub night as well, like, people want to come in the dressed up, like, suits and dresses, and like pub night like that. At that event, I remember they had like catering for all those 150 people. So that makes it a little more expensive, but I was planning to bring Bumble as a sponsor, like, all those apps like that promote, or that like, that deal with dating apps, like, Bumble and Tinder, they can sponsor this kind of event. And like other, maybe like, other platforms. So yes, we can again make a group chat for this, like these kind of who doesn't, right? So we can make a like a working committee for this. Like I know like these event committee meetings are not sufficed for that, because we can have like a limited amount of information carried through, and just like 1.5 hour for like different motions is not enough. So let's make another working group for this as well. I hope like everybody will be interested in this event, because it's a unique one. And like people are waiting, like, after COVID, like something like this to happen. So we can make it like a memorable one for everyone. That being said, I'm gonna probably start this conversation myself with all of you and the Max, like, or like if like, if you want to book some space at this building, we can just do it right now, because this is something that I really want to do, like maybe a pub night or maybe like a social. So I have this in my mind now. Anybody else wants to discuss anything on this? Seeing none, I think so we can move forward with our agenda today. Next on the list is 11.3 Christmas fundraising packages brought up by Puneet. Puneet, you have the floor.
Okay, my last idea. This is kind of something I did in my high school, which I told Ethan about when we had the SFSS interview. But basically, kind of like packages we could give out that like students can buy them. So they can be like 3 levels of packages. Like one can be just normal chocolate bar, they can buy chocolates. Second one's more like a little advanced, like chocolates and maybe a rose or a teddy bear. And then the third one can have like a lot more stuff in it, like teddy bears, chocolates, other stuff. Oh, sorry, I'm getting a little confused with Valentine's Day, but we can have Christmas stuff basically to give in these different levels of packages. So first one, like I said, chocolate. Second one, candy canes, and like other toys and whatever. And yeah, there's different levels of packages that people can buy, and they can either keep it for themselves or give it out to their friends, or we can. I was also thinking a different portion of this that can be a little fun is you can make it anonymous, so you can send it to someone, and we can get that person who they want to send it to come pick it up, and it'll be kind of a fun surprise for them when they get like a notification to come pick it up. Yeah, like Christmas grams. Yeah, like the Christmas version of Valentine ones. But yeah.
Thanks, Puneet. Is anybody else on the list here? Yeah. Since no one is here on the list, so Dipti and I were talking about this a couple of days back. So we have like welcome packages in our storage, and we have lots of that, 300 plus, maybe 400-500 plus. So like every year, like SFSS does this initiative to hand out like those packages to people who need it kind of in the residences and housing, because like people are gone, like, you know, most of them are gone by the time like to their families, to their friends, or like, you know, wherever they want to go, like for the Christmas holidays. But for people who stay here, like, you know, so like many of them, like, you know, we know like income, like they are like, you know, low or middle income students, and we have packages that have like all those things, like a candy, a popcorn, you know, I have literally didn't me, so that's just the like the package that we have. So we have like, you know, so many things: toothpaste, condoms, and candies, sticky notes, wipes. So we usually give these ones out. Like we usually like used to make it ourselves, but since we have like ample of these ones, and I'm just afraid like some of these is gonna expire soon, like, you know, especially popcorns and other stuff. So rather than spending money somewhere else, we can probably hand these ones over, and it's like a really pretty package with SFSS logo on the other side. And like, you know, this can save us money, plus like help us like get rid of like this storage area, like, you know, we can empty some of it. Ellen, you're on the list, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. I kind of want to speak to this discussion item a little bit, and I do think that this is a really cool idea to do some Christmas grams, if that's the route the committee wants to take. Yes, we have a lot of leftovers, so I 100% agree that they do have to go somehow, but definitely we should Christmas them up, if you know what I mean. Like, I do think we should be adding some candy canes and you know, little Christmas goodies and whatnot, if this is the route the committee wishes to take. So I just want to put that out there, that yes, while we do have some leftover storage, we should definitely Christmas them up if we are going to do the Christmas grant idea.
Thanks, Ellen. Dipti, you can go next. Yes.
So, Helen, and for everyone, this was, I know we discussed at the last events committee meetings as well. So for the past 4 years, we have been doing Christmas care packages. That's what we call it as. It used to be in those brown sandwich bag that we get at Dollarama, Dollar Tree, and we fill it up with granola bars. And this is for students who are left on campus during the Christmas period, when all the other vendors on campuses are closed, especially from Christmas Eve to Christmas Day, and then New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So those 4 days are pretty crucial, and we have had those discussion with Interfaith and other campus communities, and they did this is the time, this was like 4 years ago, that's when we came up with those packages. So what we do is we make those packages and we leave it at the residences, and then we have signs and everything, and students just who are left behind on campus, they come and then they take those packages. It had basically like I know we just said that we have way more things in the orientation packs now, and it also has a sticker on it. So that's amazing. We can bring candy cane and put it in there and leave it at the residence again. But the main idea behind this was for students who can access those care packages during the time when those vendors are closed on campus. We can also do the food thing is completely separate. That can be, we can talk to our food bank, maybe I think clubs coordinators, and see how the food bank works. If we can double, if maybe we can have some amount or maybe a budget approved through events committee and collaborate that with food bank program and people who actually need, because food bank is pretty famous. I mean, everyone knows about it, and I think most students can make use of this food bank, especially during Christmas time, when they can get the food bank voucher, and if they need it, they can just get like maybe 2 vouchers instead of 1. So that 2 things actually we can look into. But Christmas care packages, I would suggest we keep it as we have been doing for last 4 years, which is living at the residences for students during those times.
Thanks, Dipti. Helen, you have the direct response. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. And thanks for that point of information, Dipti. I just have a clarifying comment here. How I see this right now, based on this discussion, there's 2 avenues here. One avenue is Christmas care packages, which tackles the idea of providing stability, some sort of stability for students who are left behind. So I get that. I'm just wanting to, I just want to emphasize to the committee here that I think the idea that Purneet has brought to the table is like more of like a gift giving kind of idea. Like for the Christmas grams, it's a fun little thing like, oh, you can send a candy cane to your friend anonymously. So one is tackling a social issue while the other one is just an idea for basically having fun in a way. So I just want to bring that up to the committee. It seems like there's two ideas here. I'm in support of whatever the committee wants to do with them.
Purneet, do you have a direct response?
Yeah, I just want to, I guess, like, agree with Helen. Basically, that was my idea. It was more of like a fun thing for students to do for each other. Just a fun thing to give those kind of, like Helen said, it's basically a Christmas gram. You just give it out to your friends. You can write a note on it too, and just buy it for them. And yeah, it is different than what the care packages you guys told us.
Thanks, Purneet. So what I was thinking was like, we have these welcome packages. We can put like Christmas cookies in this one, on the top. You guys want Christmas cookies or like other Christmas items, like we can adjust that in the packages. And probably like if you like Purneet, you want like a fundraiser or something like for this, we can sell kind of like, we can ask for donations for these packages like $2 each. And this way we can like, have some collections as well, and we can donate that to the organization as well. Like, this, I think, so fulfills everybody's purpose here. So we are kind of hitting like 3 targets with 1 dot. So we can have like the welcome care packages, and then we like, we have some space after that too. And then we have like donations to, give it to the organization that all of us mentioning. So this sounds like, and like, especially like, it's better than kind of like, getting the things thrown away from those packages because they might get expired. It's better to utilize them at this time. Yes. Okay. So we have something in the chat. Shruti, you can go ahead.
Yeah. So along with putting in more Christmas stuff into the boxes, we can also decorate them with like Christmas themed wrapping paper to make them more look Christmassy. And if you go to the towards like this care package route, Embark Sustainability actually takes food from Nestor's Market and then redistributes them along to SFU students. So maybe we can partner with them, and we can maybe also distribute food with the care packages to people who are staying back in their residence.
That's a good idea. Okay, so next on our list is Dipti. Dipti, go ahead.
Yeah, going back to Christmas gram, that's an amazing idea, and thank you so much, Helen and Purneet, for the clarification. If you guys would like to go ahead and maybe, sorry, Purneet, this is for you, sorry. If you want to go ahead and maybe plan this event, I would suggest we start preparing for now, because something as such, we will need tables booked in the sub. And as I said before, that we need at least 6 weeks to do that, which I think would be pretty hard if we plan to do it now. And anything that's like fundraising or maybe, tabling, which I think for such event, we might need regular tabling, if not at least few days a week. I think you mentioned fundraising. So for that, we will need at least, I would say 4 times or maybe regular tabling for this. And you guys will also have to see your schedule as well, because it's such an amazing event. And that's why I always ask people to please submit an event plan, so we go through it and then we prepare. And maybe I can sit with you guys as well and give you the overview of, so we can bring your ideas into an amazing event or maybe activities for these student groups.
Thanks, Dipti. Yes. Okay. Do we have anyone on the list? Okay, so I can add a little bit to this. Since we are saying like we have to table, and that during the Christmas time, we have to make sure that it is like, if we are tabling, it's definitely going to be in the final season then, because like after 20th or 19th, I think so that's the last day of exams. Nobody's going to be on the campus, and especially in the sub building. So it's going to be like a dead campus like after 19th, and I know that for sure. So if something like this has to happen, we can do it after 19th, like especially during the Christmas days, because not many people are going to be there. So is it like something that you guys can do in your final season? That's another big question, like tabling and other stuff though. So I'm more worried about your guys, like, you know, your schedule and everything. And probably we can discuss this more, you know, like in the group chat as well, like since today it's already 8:30 and Dipti is a staff member, so we have to, you know, let her go as well. Other than this, anybody else like Shruti? I think you have a direct response. You can go ahead.
I was actually referring to what you said a bit before about the donation. So is it mandatory for students to donate money when they take the packages, or is it like up to them to choose?
Yeah. So did you guys see like yesterday there was a tabling in the sub building by young women in business? So they were like, you know, handing out donuts for like each dollar donated or something like that, and then $10 you could go get a box or something, right? So I think so we can make it mandatory, like for everyone to put in $2 or like $3, something like, because this package itself is like $8-9 each to us. So I think it's really like feasible for them to put in $3, and like even if we have like 100 or 200 packages giveaways, and like we can have $600-700, and we can put like $200 from our own pocket, from the events budget, and we can like kind of donate that.
Okay. Yeah.
Anybody else? Any other questions? Like, this is gonna be a tricky event. Seeing none, I think so we shall move to the next discussion item, which is again the Christmas carnival. I guess I pretty much discussed that in the main motion itself, but I can talk a little bit more about that. So, you know, again in the convocation mall on 30th November. Let me just go through the list here. Yeah, so I guess I pretty much covered everything there. The budget and what we are contributing for. You're gonna have like the weekly or like you know, twice a week meetings for that, and you know, promotions everywhere for SFSS, and we are doing like every possible thing in that. We can probably like bring up, you know, a dance performer or like two, like the way we did it yesterday. So this is something I forgot to tell you. Like we could probably have someone on the stage and have like have a performance or two. I guess that's pretty much it. If anybody wants to ask anything, just list yourself. Okay. Seeing none, I guess that was pretty much it for tonight. Now we can move forward to adjournment, and I think that this is the motion that everybody's always excited for. So the motion says, be it resolved to adjourn the meeting at 8:37 p.m. I'm going to move this. Can I have a seconder?
I'll second.
President seconds. I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If anybody wants to just no, I'm going to open the floor for discussion. Okay, seeing none, I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If anybody wants to dissent, please list yourself in the chat or raise your hand. Seeing none, this motion is carried. Everybody is good to go. I'm going to stop the recording.